Hi, I'm Frederick March. I'm here to show you what the best practices are to change your life and to become more successful in everything you do.
This is episode 45. Emotions are good.
Hi, welcome to the podcast. This message is about emotions and how they're not negative, even if they are negative emotions. Emotions are a great thing, a great tool to do a lot of different things and to connect with people. That's like the most important aspect of having emotions. Because for a long time in my life, I had very little emotions. I didn't show emotions. I would laugh and stuff like that when something was funny, but it had to be really, really funny for me to laugh out loud and emotionally just break out. Otherwise, because intellectually I can understand what's funny, what's not funny, and all that kind of stuff. So I had too much control over that, I limited my emotional connection to a lot of things and to a lot of people. And so, anyways, it's important to have an emotional reaction to things, but it's a tool. You know that it's a tool. Emotions can be a tool. They can be used in order to change your perspective on something. So, say for example, like I'm going to give an example for myself that I use, and so what I did is when I was learning to fast, and I was doing intermittent fasting, then I went for a 3-day fast, and then I would have these feelings of hunger. Like there was some times where before I took dominion, before I said I don't want to feel that hunger feeling, and I think now that I've researched it more and I've come to an understanding more, I think now I want more than before to actually feel that hunger. So what I do is, I'm just checking my watch, make sure the videos, because the video cut off on me earlier. I don't know why. So if I want to feel positive about something, so what I did is, the feeling that I would get from hunger, like the hunger feeling, used to be a negative thing. Obviously, something in my past had me really, really not liking the feeling of being hungry. And so I would react to it, and I would feed myself no matter when it happened. Even if I wasn't really hungry, but I had the emotions and that physical feeling of being hungry, that would be enough to kick me into eating. And so then I would eat. And so, that's a problem. And so it became a problem, obviously, because you see my side, but I am now rectifying that. But what I did is that feeling of hunger that I used to have a negative association to, now I have a positive association to. So now when I feel hungry, for me, that feeling is a feeling of success. I don't want to repress the feeling of hunger because I don't want to get to the point where my body doesn't feel hungry, and because that could get me into trouble as well. So I want to be able to feel hungry because there's times when I'm going to need to know why I'm hungry. So say, for example, for my meal the night before was not sufficient enough to sustain me for the day because of enough energy or whatever that situation is. I want to be able to feel hungry so I would know, okay, so the next evening when I eat, I'll make sure that I eat something a little more substantial in order to sustain me for a little longer period of time. But even if I do get hungry, I know that my pattern is to eat when I eat, which is between 6 and 8. And so that's what I do. I don't always do that, obviously. I've changed sometimes every once in a while. Like we had a party the other day. I ate during the day, and I enjoyed the party. I enjoyed the food at the party. I didn't restrict myself. The very next day, which is today, I am back in on my pattern again. So it's just, you can go outside of that. But at the same time, understanding and realizing that it's easy to get back into it. If you don't put a negative emotional attachment to restricting yourself. I find restricting myself dietarily as a benefit now. I feels like success when I'm doing it. That hungry feeling feels like success. I have used my emotions for that purpose. So what I did is I would sit in quiet, be still, and know He is God. And at that point, I would then associate a positive feeling of success with my feelings of hunger. And I practiced that and practiced that and practiced that. And then it became a technique that I use. So now when I feel hungry, I feel success. I feel victory. I'm doing what I wanted to do. I'm accomplishing my goals. I'm achieving my purpose, my goal. And so I use that as part of that. So now that hungry feeling doesn't cause me to have a negative reaction. It causes now a positive reaction. You can do the same thing with like public speaking. If you had a problem with public speaking, you can then take a time where your emotions were low and add that to your talk. And so when you get to a low point, you use that as a means to raise people's awareness of that's a negative time. So you feel the emotions while you're talking about it. And then when you come to a positive outcome from change, you put a positive emotion to that. You put more energy to that. You put more physicality to that. And all of a sudden they get the message that this is downtrodden. This is fantastic. So it's a process and a technique. So emotions aren't bad. Emotions allow us to connect with other people. Emotions also allow us to connect with other people as far as public speaking is concerned and video is concerned. Having an emotional reaction, feeling the sadness that you may have felt when you felt defeated and you felt like you could not get out of this situation that, like when I felt like I'm just going to be fat forever. I'm never going to be able to control these things. And that was a very sad part of my life. I felt really dejected. I feel very sad and very like non-motivated. I was like, what's the point? I can't fight this. I'm always going to be this way. I'm always going to feel not like comfortable in my body. But then I changed that emotional reaction to it. I changed the physical reaction. It's like, okay, I realized, hey, this is not my future. This is my past. And my future can be what I make it. And all I have to do to make my future is be consistent in believing that the change that I'm making is the change that's going to get me there. And so I be consistent. I'm like always, and then using emotions and being still and knowing you in God by closing your eyes and having that victory and seeing yourself as thin and fit and confident and outgoing. You see yourself as that, in your vision, and you just keep envisioning it, and you see it, and you start to manifest that belief, that you start believing that's really who you are, which it is really who you are. You are not your failures. You are the success that is there waiting for you to be consistent to get there. So that's what we need to do, is be consistent and use our emotions as a trigger to give us a positive opinion about that success and not the negative ones. Because we more than often than not have a negative association to work, your job, your relationship, whatever it is. You have a negative thought towards that. You need to change those and have a positive thought towards that. Change so you're thinking positively about where you're going and what you're doing and how you're going to get there and all that kind of stuff. So you got to do that. You got to change those things. So change it by using your emotions to give a positive association to something that in the past was difficult and hard for you. So just do it. Not a big deal. Just learn how to do that and do that technique. All right. I love you. Have a wonderful day. I hope this finds you well and helps you to get better. Okay. I love you. Bye.